Hi, I'm Dan Padilla. I'm a creative, and I'm passionate about art and design. I was born in downtown LA, California Hospital on Hope Street, son of immigrants. Moved to Guadalajara, Mexico when I was 4 years old, the whole family. Lived in Mexico, studied there, grade school, high school, started college, and eventually decided to come back to California to finish my career in industrial design. Right after graduation at Cal State Long Beach, I worked a little bit doing some freelance for Toyota on dealership mock-ups for a new company they were planning to open called Lexus, which would carry a luxury line compared to the rest of Toyota, the Toyota lineup. The whole point of it was to create an environment and for luxury buyers with unique characteristics that by far exceeded what was available in the market at the time. We did some mock-ups for a dealership, full size in foam core. I ended up doing some other things like packaging for stuff to be sold at the dealership with the Lexus label on it. Due to my experience with Lexus and Toyota at the time, the lead designer there, Jim Sherman, suggested that I apply at a company that had just opened up in California, a Detroit company called George P. Johnson Company, and got a job there designing car show exhibits. And I don't know if it was by chance or because that's what they wanted me to do, but I ended up working on Lexus as my first brand at that company, designing platforms, exhibits, and for the auto show in LA, auto show in Detroit, auto show in Chicago. To give me more knowledge about the company, they actually even invested in sending me to Japan to look at their shows in Japan, see how they market their products there, and also to get me accustomed to the idea of the luxury brand and getting to design for a high-end client. After working in the automotive display industry for a while, I started doing freelance for a company that had a location-based attraction, which is basically a big LAN party in a warehouse where you would fly airplanes on the inside these full-size cockpits and battle each other in squadrons against each other or against a common enemy in a bombing run, so on. After working with him, this client, Dave Kinney, he was impressed by the creativity of the stuff that I would do. So one day he just called me up and he said, "Dan, I'm starting a video game company. It's called Eagle Interactive, and I need an art director. Can you come and work for me?" And and I was doing these exhibits. I thought maybe there's more to it. Maybe I can do something on my own and move out of just doing car shows. I can do something, get more variety. It's more it's more fun. I don't know why, fun seems to be like my main motivator for everything. But if it's not fun, I don't want to do it. I remember telling a professor that. I was like, well, it's not fun. Why do it? But so I did that for Eagle Interactive. We came out with a flight simulator, World War II, called Saber Ace. We started working on a sequel, but then we made one called Ultra Fighters for a different company. I was the art director on Supercar Street Challenge, which was a learning experience. It was a lot of fun doing all that stuff. I mean, we got to talk to people from all these different car companies doing cars that had never been done before, that had never been out in the public, that had only been at car shows. Also, another amazing game. This one we had celebrities on this, doing voiceovers, and we actually modeled all the characters in the likeness of all these guys, Gary Oldman. So the game was very humorous. We recreated LA with data that was very realistic. So it was such a realistic game that at one point I read an article after the game came out that an actor in Hollywood had a friend visiting from out of town, and the guy there was no Google Earth or anything like that at the time. And the guy said, "Go buy this game and then look for this address and I'll show you how to get there in the game. And that way, when you come to LA, you'll know how to get to my house." We did a sequel. There was True Crime New York. Fortunately, we were doing this for Activision, and Triarch was right next door. So they moved a bunch of us over there, where they had us go in and talk to people, see if we had a fit over there. I ended up going over there and starting to work on this new game, Call of Duty World at War. Did some work on that. Then it moved on to Spider-Man Web of Shadows, which at that time, Triarch was working on 2 franchises at a time. Then at one point we had James Bond. I think I did a little bit of work on that. And then we went back to Call of Duty, which was now going to be called Black Ops, because it was going to have it was coming out on PlayStation 2. So now that was a whole new level of sophistication. So I worked at Triarch for maybe 13 years. At some point, I can't remember, it was Black Ops World at War. It was World at War, I believe. At the end of the game, after you completed the game, somebody snuck in a bonus game at the end of it called Zombies. If you completed the whole campaign, at the end of it, after the final animation played, it would be silence, and then all of a sudden you'd hear this rising music, and then you would be in a bunker, and all of a sudden you'd start seeing zombies coming out of the fog, and you would have a gun to shoot them, and then guns would spawn. And all of a sudden this thing became a phenomenon. People wanted to play the game just to get to zombies. A lot of people did, because it was so much fun. Fortunately, during that time, I found a job working on a video game. Somebody that I knew was working at this company that had just started, had put out 2 small games in VR, First Contact Entertainment, on 2 games, Solaris and Firewall. And Firewall Ultra, which was released on PSVR 2, was the last game I worked on there. So at the moment, I have my own company. I started a company called Padilla Creative. I'm taking clients from all the different industries that I've worked on before. I've done some automotive design for special vehicles. I'm working on a video game, doing some concept art for props and hopefully some environments as well. And I am looking forward to doing more work in that field. I mean, I love to draw. I love to come up with ideas. I love to be creative. And the more opportunities I get to do that, the better. So, and I like to keep it fresh. Overall, being California, I've always been interested in the movie industry, and I would definitely like to do some production design for environments, vehicles, weapons, props, whatever, worlds for movies. I think that would be my next step. Great. The thing I love about this community is that there's so much variety in the people. And after the pandemic and everything, getting to talk to people about what they're working on and what their passions are, it opens up all these doors, just in my imagination, of all the different things that are happening out there that I would like to be involved in. And that it really opens up horizons. I think it's in my horizons in particular, I think there are so many things that I had never even thought about that come up. Every time we meet, I talk to somebody different, and it's refreshing. After a long career doing design and doing concept art, you start to feel like you've seen it all and done it all, and this is just a giant eye opener that there is so much more to do, and I wish I could do it all. And it's amazing to talk to people, and it's just lovely. That's all I can say.